All right, want to welcome everybody to the second edition of Solve Forex, where we get to meet the people and learn about the programs that make the district the special place that it is, called Solve Forex. Today I've got a special guest with us. His name is Xavier Ramirez. And by the way, he spells his name with an X, but uses the J sound, Javier, to make the distinction between Xavier and Javier, which is something that I've grown up dealing with, and I've accepted both, Javier and Xavier. I tell people all the time, my mother calls me Javier. Anyway, welcome. One of the reasons that I wanted to introduce you to people in the district is because, first and foremost, you do a phenomenal job of making our central office look great, which isn't easy. We're not like some of the neighboring school districts that have brand new facilities. So to do what you do with an older facility that has been remodernized to quite an extent, but still needs special love and attention, is a tribute to you and your team. And in learning about that, I also learned that you are a phenomenal artist and have been at the top the last several years in the employee art contest. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Especially this year. We got first and second place on this exhibition this year.
Now, are you originally from El Paso?
Actually, I was born overseas.
Okay.
Was born on the other side of the Rio Grande.
Okay.
But grew up in East LA.
You grew up in East LA?
Yes.
Oh, so you're from Califas.
I went to high school there my first year. And then we moved to El Paso for about a year and a half. Graduated from Socorro High School.
Okay.
In 82, I'm sorry, yeah.
In 1982. I graduated in 1981. Where'd you live in East LA? East LA proper or Whittier?
It's called Maravilla.
Maravilla?
At Arizona and Whittier.
Okay.
Eastern, all that section. 3rd Street and all that.
And which high school did you go to?
Garfield.
Oh, Garfield. Isn't Garfield the school where they filmed the
Stand and Deliver?
Stand and Deliver?
Actually, Jaime Escalante was my algebra teacher my first year.
Did you hear that? Jaime Escalante, Stand and Deliver. This is his student. Did you learn algebra?
Yes. I don't remember a thing, but I think at that time, yes, I passed.
You picked up math from not Jaime Escalante. What was the teacher's original name? Was it Jaime Escalante?
Yeah, Jaime Escalante.
Okay, the actor.
Eddie Olmos.
Eddie Olmos.
Edward James Olmos.
That's right.
Which I had the privilege of working with him once, because at our high school they used to present a lot of plays.
Okay.
Teatro El Campesino, and I used to have stage class. So at one point I worked with them, moving the lights and all that.
That's awesome. And you happen to be like in the movie capital of the world back in the day, L.A., Burbank, that area. And so you come back, you finish school at Socorro High School, and then what do you do after you get out of high school?
I was surprised on my day of graduation that I received a scholarship to go to college. A scholarship that I never used.
You never used it?
I never used back then. I didn't see myself living out of art. So I went back to California right after high school. Started working as a porter boy in a dealership, then at the body shop. Then probably about a year later, my mom decided to move back to El Paso.
Okay.
So I just got involved, working on. My brother had a home remodeling company, so I would say most of those years I worked with them in and out, doing heating and cooling, all of that. Never thought about, I didn't see myself as an artist. So I saw that I had an ability or a talent to do things. That was it.
Okay.
Art was always there, even And in my work as a home remodeler, they were always doing like designs on the floors, on the walls. But I guess, I always had in mind that it was something that I had. I come from a very artistic, talented family. In my family, there's designers, decorators, artists, musicians. So to me, it was like, I don't need to go to college.
So art has always been part of your upbringing.
Yes.
So art isn't something that you picked up later in life and just developed. You've been drawing, you've been sketching since you were a little boy. Can you remember when you started?
If I go back, I probably can recall that I was about 4 or 5 years old. Always, I would look for burned wood, burned sticks, get the what do you call it,
The charcoal?
the charcoal. Yeah, I'm sorry, the charcoal. Always joining cardboard. And my mom used to get mad at me because the walls were all, was doing something. And I didn't start taking art classes until I got to high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have something in common. I think I was in kindergarten, and it must have been President's Day or something, but they asked us to draw Abraham Lincoln. They had a picture of Abraham Lincoln, and so I went to it, and at the end of that assignment, I turned in my assignment, and the teacher asked to speak to my mother. And at the time, we were monolingual Spanish. We were one of, I believe, 8 families in this Northern California community who were Latino. Everybody else in the community was either from the Dust Bowl days, Oklahoma, Texas, that area, or they were from Italy. There was a large Italian population. And so when she asked to speak to my mom and I, first my mom felt uncomfortable because she didn't speak English. But the lady, the teacher, insisted on it, and she showed her all of the drawings that my classmates had drawn, and every one of them were stick figures except for one. The only one that had drawn a sort of three-dimensional, lifelike human Abraham Lincoln was me. And she encouraged my mother to put me in art lessons, but because of limited resources, when you get home, they said, no tenemos tiempo para esas tonterías, right? And I need you to focus on learning how to read, write, more importantly, speak English, mathematics. And so I never pursued it, but I was always regarded as one of the better drawers, sketchers in my class. I think I spent all of the 4th grade drawing everybody's favorite football team emblem on these helmet outlines that the teacher gave us so that they could keep us busy. I always regret not looking for someone to help me, mentor me, teach me, take the drawing to the next level. So I'm not in this caliber by any means. When did you start, or did you ever start getting lessons or direction or help, guidance from established older artists or mentors?
I guess like I said, the only art classes that I took, it was in my first year in high school until my graduation, because my counselor knew that I could draw. So he started pushing me. You need to start doing something with your talent.
Mm-hmm.
I was hired at San Elizario district in 2001. 2002, the principal that hired me back then, Ms. Virginia Padilla, she found out that I could draw. So she got me a scholarship. So she sent me back to school.
In 2002?
Yes.
And you graduated from high school in 1983?
No, I'm sorry, 2002. And then I did 1 semester at a community college and 1 semester in UTEP. In the process of my last semester, I had an accident, and I lost sight to my left eye. So it took me about 2 years to recover myself, from getting back to my vision. My left eye, I never recovered my vision. So I just left it like that. So I never went back to. But actually, in those 2 semesters, I never took classes. It was just my basics. So what I'm doing right now, I've been learning from other artists, just by watching now that we have YouTube and all that.
Yeah.
And some techniques, something that I just come up with, like that one I was telling the guys, started using facial makeup for the colors to make it more real.
Like real facial makeup
Yeah.
that people use?
Things like sometimes they're just in my head.
Yeah. I was going to ask you, do you typically I'm better drawing a drawing, somebody else's drawing, and then trying to, get as close as possible. I've never really explored the possibility of just drawing from up here.
Go ahead,
But you draw from up here, for example, the lady praying, is that something you pulled out of up here?
No, that I used a photo to
to do that.
Reference. Yeah, sometimes that's what I do because my big obstacle right now is time.
Yeah.
I'm a busy man. I'm always doing something.
You got
Here
work.
at work, at home, and things like that. So, like when I see something like that, one day I walk into my living room. I have my nephew who will go to my house, and he was always tosses tennis shoes in the middle of the room. One day I walk in and I saw him. It brought me memories when I was a kid. So I just took a picture. And, some other day when I had time, I start drawing, things like that.
Right.
But there's things like sometimes it's still here. I'm walking, I see a piece of metal, a piece of wood, and I take it home because there's something already in my head what I'm going to do with it.
It's just intuitive.
Yeah, I see things and I know what I'm going to do with that.
Yeah.
One day while we're putting staples in my stapler, how when you open the box and they come all together, I started seeing buildings. So I started building up little towns, little cities with staples.
Wow.
So
Do you ever experiment with paint, acrylic, oil,
Yeah,
pastel?
The first art class that I took in high school was mural design. So I started with acrylics, and then I stopped because I got involved in the stage class. We were making up the setups for the plays.
Oh, the backdrops and all of that?
Yes, all of that. But I've done airbrush. I did some airbrush artwork and the lowriders and all that. That was one of my goals when I moved here. I had a brother-in-law who had a body shop. I did a couple of works for him, but then I found out that they were not getting paid what it was worth it.
Yeah.
So I stopped. But yeah, I had done murals in Hanks High School. I did 2 murals in the big gym. I don't know if they're still there.
I was going to ask, have you been back to see if they're still there?
No, I haven't been back.
Are they nights?
Yeah.
Yeah,
nights.
of course.
I did a mural in Alarcon Elementary in San Elizario, where I used to be, and things like that. I've tried a lot of things, but I have focused. That's what probably, if you see some of my drawings like 5 years back, they're totally different, So I've been doing it more and more. It's getting better, and I like doing a pencil drawing because, like that one took me probably about 3 hours.
Really?
An airbrush probably is gonna take me about a month to do it, and all the taping and all that.
Yeah.
Waiting to dry up, things like that. But yeah, there's some drawings that I can do it in 2 hours maybe, and
We're going to get you a tattoo gun. I hear there's a lot of money in that these days.
yeah.
Because your art is beautiful. Do you have family?
Yeah.
Children? Did they get the talent, the skill from dad?
My oldest son can do it. They don't practice it. He's more into music.
Okay.
But my youngest, he's one of our sergeants. He's a sergeant in Hanks High School.
Okay.
He can draw. He's the one who designed the logo for the patrol cars.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But they don't practice it as me, but they can do it.
Yeah.
His daughter, I have 2 granddaughters. His daughter, she's pretty good in drawing and painting. And my my older son, daughter, which is her, she just joined the mariachi at Socorro. So, like I said, I come from a very blessed, talented, artistic family.
Yeah.
My dad, he didn't finish elementary. He didn't finish his school in Mexico. I think he went only to third grade. He was a great artist.
Yeah. My dad, too. Third grade. Lucille Ball back here. Is that from a picture?
Yes. And the reason I drew it because it brought me a lot of memories. I see myself getting from school, all the family, when all we used to have a TV in the living room, all sitting down watching I Love Lucy in the afternoon, my mom, my brothers and all that. Besides her beauty and talent, it brings me a lot of memories. Last year I started drawing comedians. I like old movies.
Uh-huh.
I had a picture of the Three Stooges, my favorite. But I do it because when I see them, it brings me back memories when I was a kid. Being home and in the living room, just watching TV. And all that.
I can relate to that. After school and all of the sitcoms, Sanford and Son, and all of them. But we're always very impressed with the work you do in your regular job. At one point, I must have come across your office, and I looked around, and I thought, wow, this guy has access to some great art. And somebody said, no, that he does that. And I thought, very, very talented. People don't know. People in this district, they're special because what they do here for us, ultimately for the kids, but all of them have their own lives, and some of them have remarkable, extraordinary talents. We got to meet one today. Xavier Ramirez is a phenomenal artist, clearly runs in his blood, and we look forward to seeing more drawings. And who knows, maybe I'll let you draw something for me, and then I'll go see if I can find someone that can do it justice with a tattoo gun. Just kidding. Thank you very much. I appreciate you letting our community get to know you. The whole point is I just want to remind people that the district is a people business. It's made up of people. And if you want to know more about what we hope to accomplish, what the mission is in this Ysleta Independent School District, is to bring great people together like yourself with very unique, I think, skills that people may not know about, may take for granted, and remind everybody that not only do we have kids that are phenomenal, but the adults that work with our kids, either directly or indirectly, are pretty special people too. And I shared with Monica, who reached out to you and said, hey, do you want to spend a few minutes and talk to the superintendent about the things that interest you? I appreciate you agreeing to do that, and I want to show you off and let people know that we've got some wonderful people in this district, and the Solve for X podcast is all about introducing you to the people, the fabric that make up the Ysleta Independent School District, the district, or the District of Champions. We've got a champion right here, literally, and not just first place, but first and second. You could have given somebody else, a chance, let them have second or something. But clean sweep, ladies and gentlemen. Glad to have shared Mr. Xavier Ramirez with you. Look forward to the next episode.